to the Line Haul Playbook. I'm your host, Emily Blair. Joining me in my virtual studio today is Ted Dan with DeviceSolutions.ai. Ted, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me, Emily. This is fantastic to be here with you. We're both in the same industry, and it's nice to connect with like-minded individuals.
Absolutely. And you have some information that I think can be really valuable to our audience. You told me that you just got a really cool deal with AT&T for devices that contractors may use in their trucks. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, we have a pretty killer promotion that will be in perpetuity with AT&T. It's volume pricing from a large package delivery network who you may be a part of, extending their corporate level pricing down to all of the contracted service providers with whom they do business. This is a value that you would not be able to get as a small business off the street. Working with your local AT&T rep, they won't be able to offer this. This is something that I've negotiated in a proprietary manner with AT&T and the package delivery network. It's anything from scanner data for $11 a month, unlimited, to having $700 incentive on your new devices, down to having hotspots for you and your managers, and some pretty killer discounts. It's around a 40 or 50% discount depending on who you're comparing it to and what you're looking at.
That's amazing. It sounds like you got some really good deals to share, so I'll make sure that we get all your contact information into the description of this video so you know how to contact Ted. And now we're going to get into a little bit more nitty gritty details on some of the other products that you can offer and help with. So, if you could next talk to me a little bit about choosing devices.
Yeah, so a quick introduction on who DeviceSolutions.ai is. I used to be a contracted service provider on the pickup and delivery side. Operated 5 zip codes in Las Vegas, Nevada, for a couple of years. I exited the business and sought out to build the technology partner that I wish I had when I was implementing technology into my own fleet. So I learned a lot along the way of managing and distributing technology to my drivers and my vans, mounting of tablets, picking the right devices. In our case, it was heat. Las Vegas, we would see regular temperatures in the summer outside up to about 117, and inside the package vans, we measured it around 145 to 150 on a good day.
Wow.
It's brutal, and it's brutal for the people, but it's also brutal for the devices. So being out operating in 115-degree heat with your van being super hot and going stop to stop is not easy. And then when your routing and navigation apps are not working because your tablet's overheating too, it just becomes a really difficult day. We sought out, or I sought out, to provide the best tablet I could find to my drivers, and ultimately landed on one with a MILT standard rating. It's good for heat up to about 170. I wouldn't want anybody out driving in 170-degree heat. Although we did get some weather exceptions from time to time, that wasn't one of them. Uh, Picking one that's durable, that can take an IC to the while it's mounted in its tablet mount, charging, and then still not fall on the ground and not break right away, was a really important consideration. The cost was also super important. So military standard devices are not cheap in general, but we selected one that was around $400 out the door. They've gone up a little bit since then. It's been 2 or 3 years, but we've had a good time recommending those to our customers and others that have utilized us for our services.
That's awesome. And one thing that I see a little bit of chatter on here, especially on some of the line haul pages, is whether to have the driver use their cell phone for some of these applications or whether it's better to get a company owned tablet. Can you talk a
Yeah,
little bit about the pros and cons of those?
yeah. The package delivery network is shifting to a single ELD solution starting next year. It will run on a tablet or on a smartphone for that ELD solution, but I'm sure anybody watching this video is familiar with that solution and is having a debate in their operation about whether to have a driver use their own handheld phone or put tablets into their devices that are dedicated. We think, and because of the scoring that happens on an AI video camera, we think that it's a better option to put a tablet into your vehicle, mounted in a secure charging case. If it ever, it needs its own reception independent of the Wi-Fi network that the camera's providing. Those don't give you very much data or throughput, and we really recommend like just having a dedicated device for it. It's very inexpensive, especially through AT&T on this latest promotion, and it alleviates any of the conversations with drivers about having a handheld in their hand and being flagged for it on your secure safety score. We think it makes a lot of sense just to get the right mount, get the right tablet. It's super inexpensive, and on the current promotion right now, it's 0% APR over 36 payments on a heavily discounted device. I have a hard time saying no to 0% APR in any situation.
Absolutely. That's a great explanation, especially the point about the wireless devices in hand with those AI cameras. I know that does get really tricky, so thank you for pointing that out. And then next, I just wanted to cover a little bit. You also handle, as we talked about at the very beginning, the data plans. So, can you talk a little bit more about how DeviceSolutions.ai monitors those data plans and can help contractors save money there?
Yeah, this is a bit of a newer product for us, but what I ran into was that our data plan got out of hand. There were a bunch of devices on there that were inactive, and we were paying for them month after month. And then when I finally went back and reviewed it and said, hey, to my wireless carrier rep, like, hey, why do I have 45 devices that I'm paying for that I haven't used? I didn't want these. I never signed up for these additional lines of service. Can I get a credit? They ultimately denied it. As far as I escalated it, they said, no, that's your responsibility is to keep an eye on your wireless bill. Now, I don't know how many watchers of this channel are looking at their wireless bill every month, line by line, to see, is this tablet still in service? Is this phone from this manager that left the company 2 months ago still on our plan? So what we do is we do a complimentary bill review every quarter for our customers. It's a newer program for us, but it was something that I wish I had, and that's what I set out to do with this company, is to build the things that I wish I had back in my operation. So yeah, we're definitely happy to take a look at wireless bills. A lot of the time with our brand new customers, we'll take a look at it first thing and just kind of get a sense of what they're paying, what they need, and where they could be saving money. We can take advantage of current promotions and offer things that the wireless carrier won't necessarily try to show you. They do have a break-even point on your account of when they're starting to make money off of you, and you want to take advantage of their generous incentives if you can.
Yeah, definitely. That's a great option. I really love that. And I love that you did start your business based on your own experiences of what you wanted. I think that makes a lot of these features so much more valuable to contractors simply because you understand the model and you get where they're coming from. So I love that. And then the other thing that we wanted to talk about was device management. And this was something I hadn't given any thought to until you brought it up. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, so I learned about this as well when I was a contractor. We found out that some of our iPads or our tablets had walked off the job and had become personal devices. These were ones where we replaced them, but still, we would see the data that they were streaming, and at the time they weren't on an unlimited plan, so we were having data overages. And not only that, we had to go and track down where the devices were. So a device management platform, or an MDM, can let you lock it down to kiosk mode. So you give them, your ELD application, your navigation app if you're using one, and any other like driver training videos or safety video platforms that you're required to have. You can do an inspections app if you wanted to do a fleet maintenance implementation there too. But that's it. Like, you can't let them. You can restrict them from streaming Netflix or, doing anything that's inappropriate when they're at a overnight on at a truck stop on a multi-day leg. So there's a pretty easy process for us to set it up. It can be technical for end users, but we just walk you through a questionnaire, configure the profile for the MDM, we'll load it to the devices and ship them out so that they're ready to deploy. You don't have to worry about like software setup. once you get them out in the field.
That's so great. I absolutely hate setting up devices. So to me, that sounds magnificent. One question I had for you, if someone already has devices purchased, so they don't need new devices, but they still want to work with you on the carrier data plans, is that an option?
Oh, certainly.
Awesome.
Yeah, with a bring your own device plan, you can save quite a bit per month by switching carriers and switching plans and taking advantage of what we call port credits. We don't always encourage you to switch carriers. Like if you are an existing AT&T customer, you can move to the new pricing program that I talked about earlier, and we can configure your profile onto a more cost optimal rate plan for you. But if your devices are paid off and you don't want to get onto another payment plan with them, then we're certainly able to help you on a BYOD plan.
Okay, that's awesome. All right, so you've got your devices, you've got your data plan. What about accessories?
Yeah, it comes up all the time. What we're hoping to do is help our customers to quote a single everything surrounding the device plus its data and its applications. So a one-stop shop for everything related to your mobile devices and your fleet. With that, we have a selection of, I don't know, hundreds of different vehicle mounts and accessories. In tractors, what we've seen is they mount it typically to the right-hand side of the wheel. There are seat rail mounts with like a fork that goes into the front of the seat rail and mounts on a pedestal and puts it like pretty comfortably right next to the driver without blocking any of their controls or anything like that. We have a Shopify storefront where you can browse and look at product information and installation manuals, and there's locking mounts for the tablets so that they don't walk off or leave the vehicle. There's a charging kit that you can install. It's really easy to put a 12-volt fuse in and power your tablet so it's constantly powered. It constantly has data. It's mounted securely. It's not going to go anywhere. And it's managed through MDM software. So that's kind of the end-to-end solution of how we look at device management and providing devices to our customers.
That's amazing. I love this product. Thank you so much for coming on to talk with us about it. And again, I'm going to post all of your information in the description. But just if you wanted to read off, what's the website?
DeviceSolutions.ai is our website. There's a direct link if you're part of a package delivery network that we'll put in the description of the video. I'm Ted at DeviceSolutions.ai, and you can email me, and I'll have myself or one of my team members jump in and start working on your solutions. We want to make it as easy as possible, high level of customer service, and really, save you money, make it easy. It's kind of a win-win. I think that there's a lot of ways that we can help out line haul contractors.
Absolutely. Thank you again, Ted.
All right. Thanks, Emily. It was a pleasure.